Well, hello and welcome back to Man v Film. It is my April watching and purchasing, collecting recap a little bit later than normally planned. I usually try to get out in the second, and I've just been caught up in work stuff. And April was a bit of a tough month for me personally. Going back to work was a bit of a shock to the system. It was so hard. It took up a lot of my time and took even more of my energy, and as such I didn't watch as much as I usually did. I definitely didn't watch as much discs as I normally did, and I just kind of generally struggled with my whole mood throughout April. I'm starting to go over it now after 4 weeks of being back. I'm starting to pull myself back together. So in April, I watched 59 movies. Not bad, but some months I was watching 100 when I wasn't at work, and only 15 of them were discs, which is the lowest by far. I've already watched, which when I record this, it's the fourth, 5 discs already this month. So I'm going to try and get back onto that train as soon as, before the watch pile becomes a major problem. 24 of the movies were rewatches, 35 of them were first time watches. Most of these were at the start of the month when I was kind of fresh. All the rewatches seem to come at the end of the month almost. As always, I'm still going to do my top 5 lists because I've got good top 5 lists, I think, and my top 5 rewatches. At number 5 is Meatballs. I love this summer camp comedy which doesn't have any meanness about it. It's all about these people having a good time, coming together, not making life difficult and picking up people that are down. It's a rather positive movie, even though it's not portrayed as that. You dig within it and you can see that. I think Bill Murray's performance is terrific, and I just really enjoyed the easygoing nature of this film yet again. Number 4, Urban Legends. I got the Urban Legends box set this month. I loved it. I thought that it was great going back to this movie. It has silly, ludicrous moments, but the filmmaking, the creativity, the way it shoots the film, it all makes it just wonderfully fun entertainment. At number 3, I rewatched Panos Cosmatos' Mandy, Nicolas Cage vehicle, and I love that movie. It's a really hard one to pigeonhole into a genre. It's a really kind of weird, trippy movie, wonderful editing and directing touches, creative lighting, weird and unusual characters, really strangely directed but in a really inventive and fun way. And Mandy's probably the best thing that Nick Cage has done in years. Number 2 on my list is Dave Made a Maze. I've championed this movie for a while. I really love it, and I went back to revisit it because I wanted to know if it would have lived up to my memories of it, and it did. It was so much fun watching this. It's silly, irreverent at moments. It's incredibly fun, incredibly creative, and it has a good bit of heart at it as well as dealing with somebody who is stuck in a rut and wondering if their life is kind of just going to be like this from now on, which is a really nice addition to the movie. It's not just creativity in the form of paper mache and cardboard things. It actually has something to say as well. I loved going back to it. Breezy, easy watch, and again, I'm still going to tell everybody to watch this one. And my favourite rewatch was Palm Springs, one of my favourite movies of last year. I just loved this whole world. Niles is such a wonderfully nihilistic character. He's just willing to go with the flow, not going to try and fix the situation, just going to ease on by. And watching it this time around, I realised that even though the story's centred on Niles, he's not the main character of this one. And that kind of added a lot to me, and I kind of got snippets here and there of a theory, which I've not looked up to see if it's correct, because I want to watch again and see if I get more of that idea out of the movie, and if I can cement it in any way, I will of course tell you guys about it. But Palm Springs, incredibly fun, easygoing, Just a wonderful movie, a kind of romantic comedy as well, which when done right can be wonderful, like this. On to my new movies I saw for the first time in April that I loved. And at number 5 is Love and Monsters, a movie that I had zero interest in, didn't care at all about it, wasn't super enthused by the movie at all. Threw it on because I did a live stream and everybody told me that it was worth checking out, and I loved it. It's not really overly original, but there's a lot of heart, it's got a lot of ingenuity, a lot of creativity and fun moments following this adventure. And as well as that, the main character being as interesting and as exciting as he is, I loved the supporting characters that appear throughout that are just wonderful as well. I really want a sequel to this one. Next up, at number 4 on my list, is My Bloody Valentine. I love this slasher. I thought I'd seen it before. Turns out I hadn't, and I just grew to love how this embraced certain tropes and completely discarded others, and it actually had proper characters whom I enjoyed, and it had people who weren't just silly teenagers. These were men in jobs, working for a living, who aren't the typical high school or college students. It felt a little bit more lived in of a world. I had a little bit more weight to the victims as well, and I thought it was stylistically really well shot. Really quite enjoyed this one. Number 3 for me was Nobody. I knew nothing about this movie at all. I put it on one day while I was going to do something and just have it as background noise, and very quickly I was paying full attention, and I loved this. It just went in such a left field choice. I had no idea where it was going, and it just put a smile on my face. Utter enjoyment watching the carnage and the chaos that falls into this man's life. Terrific. Number 2 was a Masters of Cinema release I picked up, and that was Laura. And this is all about a detective investigating the murder of the titular character and the people that are drawn in to her life, and this woman who seemed to be almost centre of attention, who had that kind of X factor that seemed to drive a lot of people wild. It was incredibly well put together, with wonderful characters, great dialogue, and was an instant favourite when I watched it. And the only thing I saw better than that this month was The Grand Jewel. The spaghetti western starring Lee Van Cleef was an utter joy from start to finish. Great music, great cinematography, great action, wonderful characters, and a real stylistic touch to this one that just made it utter delightful to watch. It was great. This month I didn't buy too many movies. I bought Silent Action from Fractured Visions. I got Headhunter from 101 Films, which was a terrific film. I got the John Ford double pack from Masters of Cinema. I've watched Straight Shooting and done a review. It's just not up yet. I've still to watch Hellbent. I got Irreversible, which is one of those movies that's going to sit on the watch pile for a little while. It's going to wait until I'm ready for it, and when I have a free night with zero disturbances to really sit down and watch that one. I got the Urban Legends box set, which I utterly loved. I devoured it in a day, watching most of the extras and all the films, and it was just utter joy to go back to that. I wish 88 Films could do more movie releases like this. It was wonderful. I got the Blue Underground 4Ks, which I showed you recently, which was Zombie Flesh Eaters, Maniac, The House by the Cemetery, and The New York Ripper, which I've not checked as yet, but I will get to, as well as my Vinegar Syndrome package. And there was an MOC sale, and I managed to pick up Laura and Irma La Douche. One I've watched, one I haven't. Getting closer to completing that MOC collection, but I'm in no rush to get there. May is a kind of stacked month again. There would be more I would buy if I had the funds, but I just simply don't, so I have to pick and choose. Already this month, in fact today, I received Karloff at Columbia, and Snake in the Eagle's Shadow. I'm looking forward to both of these. I loved the Inner Sanctum series. I thought that was a great set, and I think Karloff is going to be similar. More Jackie Chan is always good. Legionnaire, I've still to pick up, but I will be. I'm looking forward to it. I've never seen that Van Damme movie. Columbia Noir 3 is bought and paid for already, so I'm just waiting for that to be delivered, along with Someone to Watch Over Me. And last thing I have ordered for this month is Lake Mungo. I really want to see that. That looks terrific. Should be great. I've heard wonderful things about it. There are more things that I would have bought if I had the finances. So these are the things that have kind of slipped back. It is 4K fever this month with wonderful releases that I really would have bought if I had the cash. And that is Speed, one of my favourite 90s action movies. Last Action Hero, one of my favourite satires on 90s action movies. There is Snatch, one of my favourite Guy Ritchie movies. Smokey and the Bandit, oh man, I love that movie. That is one that kind of hurt not getting. And Saw, the original Saw is amazing. I utterly love that movie, and I would love to have that in 4K, but alas, going to have to wait for a sale. Other titles I would have bought would be One Arm Boxer and Time and Tide from Eureka. I'm going to pick them up at some point. I just can't stretch for them at the moment. Weird Wisconsin, which is the movies of Bill Rebane. I didn't love the William Greffy set. I appreciated it more than enjoyed the movies. Some of them I liked, some of them I didn't, and I just feel that this Bill Rebane set would be interesting to watch. I don't think I can drop my money on it. I'm not confident enough in the release. Also from Arrow is Over the Edge at the end of the month. Now, I've seen this one. I've got a review coming in the next couple of days. It's brilliant. I really, really like this one, and you'll see more about that in the review. Next up and last, we have Zombie 5 Killing Birds from 88 Films. It's one of those hard box sets, and I've got the movie from Vinegar Syndrome, and I'm not paying £25 just to have a different version of it with different covers. Rather subdued April. Kind of calm on the purchases for May. I'm waiting towards the Vinegar Syndrome sale at the end of the month, and I'd love to know what you're picking up this month, what you bought last month, any good movies that you discovered that you want to recommend. Just let me know in the comment box, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.